On today's episode, we are going to be doing some fall thrift flips. We're going to head up north? I don't even know what direction. We're going 45 minutes away to Claremont. Every time I have made the trek, it has always been worth it. So we're gonna stop, get some gas, get a drink, and get on the road. I am so excited about that. But first, I want to thank this episode's sponsor, ThredUp. I just am obsessed with ThredUp. I've got some really great outfits this time, and I have some great tips on how you can do it well as well. It really goes with the whole theme of my channel, which is like that bougie look on a budget. So let's get on the road in the meantime.
I've been saving you, and you save me too. Yeah, I need it. Don't you need me too? 'Cause I need you.
I always enjoy that ride. It's so pretty. Anyways, let's go shopping.
Call me anytime when you're out of time, and I got you, and you got me too.
Okay, this is hilarious. I just have to show this to you. These are totally from the Dollar Tree, but look how much they're asking.
I can take you anywhere.
Nothing is calling my name yet, even though there's a lot to choose from.
Won't be scared. You will see me flying now.
Something I've always wanted to make over is a clock, like a grandfather clock. I don't know. Maybe not this time.
We don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too.
I might get this.
I've been saving you.
Maybe I need to get an early start on Christmas. They've got some stuff here. Possibly. Let's see what I can find. I think I'm gonna grab this and hang on to it for my Christmas one, because look at that price, $5.99, and I think I could do something really cute with that. All right, so here's our shopping cart. We did pretty good. Stop number 2.
Call me anytime that you need a friend, and call me anytime when you're out of time, and I got you. You got me.
Should I bring her home with me? I'm thinking no. I'm thinking that might scare the DIY dolly. We're gonna have to sneak this in and not show the husband. Kind of went a little nuts. Yay, Happy Meal. I love these boxes. We are back from thrifting. I don't know. I love people, but it was kind of nice to go shopping on my own, just take my time and really kick back, relax, and have a good time. And I got a ton of stuff that we are gonna turn into some very easy, doable thrift flips. And I hope to prove to you that you don't always have to do these extravagant makeovers to get a really great look that has a nice high-end finish.
Found myself lost in long conversations, cause I've always been.
We're gonna get started on my first thrift flip, and it was this really cute pie basket that I found on our trip. When I saw it, I'm like, this is really adorable as is, but the image on the top of the basket just didn't really speak to me. You might have liked it, but I wanted to just do a simple fix to something that I liked. And so I did tape off the little leather strap. All I did is paint it 2 or 3 coats of a white chalk paint, making sure that we had an absolutely blank slate. Now, while those were drying, I went onto Etsy and found this really cute apple pie image, and I will link the image that I purchased. I like to support some of these creators on there. They're so talented. And I've purchased some images from this shop before, and I just love this one. I fell in love with it and I knew it was perfect. So all I did is upload that image onto Canva, rotate it so it was in landscape view, and then I printed it out on one of my favorite finds. You know what it is? It's water slide paper. And all you have to do is print out your image on this pretty affordable specialty paper with an inkjet printer. Then I take it outside and I did 3 coats of the triple thick crystal glaze, and I'll also link that, and you allow like 15 minutes in between each coat to fully dry. Then I went around the edges and cut off all of the excess so that it would go nicely on our round basket. And here's where the cool part of this water slide paper goes. So once you have it cut out how you like it, we submerge this paper fully in water for about 30 to 60 seconds. It can vary on time. Basically, you want it to feel like it's starting to slide around. Then you take it out of the water, place it where you want, and then very carefully slide out that white paper from behind and then smooth the whole thing out. And then I usually have a dry cloth there to kind of get rid of some of the moisture. Then you're going to want it to sit and dry for a little bit. For me, you could leave it as is, but I feel like you will have a longer lasting piece and a much more realistic look if you do a few coats of sealer. Now, I didn't like the gloss sheen of mine because I had the chalk paint, which was a matte finish. So I took a matte finish sealer and I did 3 coats. What this will do is it will take out the shine and the variation from the chalk paint to the water slide image, but it will also protect this new image and make it look more like a piece of art. That's it for this one. It was a super easy fix, and now it's more personalized to me. The colors from the image still matched the plaid fabric that was in the basket, and it is so adorable. Can you imagine showing up to a fall get-together with your pie in the basket? Now, the funny thing here is I'm actually kind of good at baking pies, but since I spent all the time making the thrift flips, I didn't have a time to buy a real pie. And so the one you see is store-bought. I am so guilty. I'm feeling guilty about that because I am known for my pies. It still gives you the idea of how it functions, and I just think it's super adorable. I love this. This is such a cute fall thrift flip. What do you think? I am so excited for this next part because I'm such a huge fan of ThredUp, and as I mentioned previously, they have partnered with me on this episode. Why I love ThredUp is because you can get super high-end bougie designers on a budget, and that's the case for this first top, but I'm not going to tell you about the top quite yet because first I want to share with you my jeans and my boots, and then we're going to do kind of like a rapid fire scene of all of the different tops that I got. So let me just tell you really quickly about the jeans. The jeans are by Spanx, and so as you can imagine by the name, they pull everything in all the right places, and I really like the look of these. Now, the estimated retail for these jeans are $105, and I just paid $53.99, which might be a splurge, but they're in pretty much brand new condition, and so I feel like it was a really good deal for such a great pair of jeans. And then of course the boots are by Jack Rogers, and they have an estimated retail value of $153, and I paid just $33.99 on ThredUp. So I love this, and I think it's a really fun fall look. Okay, before I do all of the tops, I just want to tell you really briefly how we're going to do this. It's going to go super fast. So I'm going to tell you the brand, the estimated retail, and the ThredUp price, and we're going to do this really quick so you can see a whole bunch of looks in a condensed amount of time. So let's get started. So this is BCBG. The estimated retail was $233, and I paid just $35.99 on ThredUp. How cute is this Max Studio cardigan that I got? The estimated retail for this was $105 on ThredUp. I paid just $24.99. Love that. How cute is this top by Moth? The estimated retail for this top was $71.99. The ThredUp price was just $24.99. I absolutely love it. And how cute is this 100% cashmere sweater, short sleeves? The estimated retail of this was $71.99, and I paid just $34.99 on ThredUp. Additionally, how cute is this Coach little purse? Its estimated retail is about $375, and I got it for just $85.99 on ThredUp. Designer purse at a fraction of the cost, and it's in brand new condition. Can't beat that. Okay, just one more outfit. I have been wondering what all the buzz was about for Lululemon for the longest time, but I couldn't quite bring myself to splurge on a pair of leggings. And so this cardigan and the leggings are both by Lululemon, and I'll start with the cardigan. Its estimated retail was $158. On ThredUp, I paid just $24.99. Now I see myself wearing this outfit to my kids' sporting events on a cool morning. It's comfortable, it's casual, but still cute. But let me tell you about the leggings. Oh my word, the leggings. Okay, so for the leggings, I was like, what is all the rage about these leggings? But I have to be honest with you, they are amazing. These were like new condition and so comfortable. Let me just tell you, they are so incredibly comfortable. And the estimated retail for these leggings was $105. I don't know about you, but $105 for leggings, huh? Heaven forbid. I had a hard enough time coughing up the $56.99 that they were on ThredUp, but I knew it was such a good deal. They're brand new essentially, and they were worth it. I have to say, these are pretty amazing. So you know, if I get more Lululemon, I will definitely be getting it on ThredUp, because why pay more when you don't have to? And I just have had such a good experience, and I want to share that with all of you. And ThredUp is helping me do that by offering all of you a discount of up to 30% off your first purchase by using my coupon code Natalie. That's all you have to do at checkout, and I'm telling you, it is so much fun to get that fun little box in the mail. It's awesome. So check them out, but now back to the thrift flips. Have you ever flipped over a bundt cake pan? Well, I have, and I kind of thought it looked like a pumpkin. So when I came across this one on our thrifting adventure, I don't remember how much it was, but it was like $2 or something like that. I'm like, we're gonna make a pumpkin out of that. And so that's what I set out to do. And the first thing I did is flip it over and spray on a primer. That way it had better adhesion for the other paint. Then to add some dimension, I just did a really light coat of yellow, and then I let that dry. And then next up, I did a really good coverage in a burnt orange color and made sure that it was completely saturated in that with several coats. You don't want to totally saturate it when you're doing it. Otherwise, if you use spray paint before, you'll know that it will run, and that will kind of ruin the look. Then we let that fully dry. Once the paint was fully dried, I took a sanding sponge to it and sanded it through, and then you could see a little peekaboo of that yellow, and it really kind of added some nice dimension to our little metal pumpkin. Next up, and I don't know if you're gonna get some slack for this, but I found this wooden meat tenderizing mallet in a thrift store, and it was marked for $4, but it was on a 50% off sale, so it was only $2. But when I looked at it, I'm like, that would make a really cute stem for our pumpkin. So I cut off part of the handle for our stem, and I apologize if that offends you, but I'm like, it's all for the cause. But then we needed to attach it to this metal pan, and so I was like, what can we do here? So I had a little round disc, a wood disc. So what I ended up doing is drilling a hole in the handle and through the little disc, and we drilled in a screw, and that would kind of just give it some stability. But that wasn't it. So I slipped that up through the hole, but I needed to add some hot glue first. And then I glued the bundt cake pan to our little wood stem, and there we had a stem. And I didn't do anything to the mallet because I really liked the aged look to it. Once we had our stem attached, we needed some greenery. And here's where keeping all of your little extra pieces of greenery from your cast off floral projects pays off, because I took some greenery that I pulled off in our recent IKEA hack episode. I had like a pumpkin, and it had like tons of green foliage on the bottom, and I was like, I didn't want it all, but it was perfect for this project, because then I just hot glued it into place and turned it into the greenery for our cute little bundt cake pan pumpkin, and it looks so cute. Now, I think it would look super cute if you could find an identical one and do like one and attach it on the bottom and do a full pumpkin. But even as is, this turned out so cute. I love how it looks. It was very inexpensive. It was pretty easy to put together and not a whole lot of work. And you have an adorable piece of kitschy fall decor. And so I just love that. Next up is this silverware crate, and I saw that and I'm like, you know, the shape of this is really cute. The little design on it, it's a little dated with the pinks and the blues. It just is very reminiscent of like 1980s, maybe even early 1990s. And there's nothing really wrong with that, but it's just not the look that I was going for. And I knew that we could turn it into something really special with very, very minimal effort. And so what I did initially is I wanted to richen up the handle a little bit. So I just took some antiquing glaze, rubbed that on the turned handle and let that dry. Then I took a piece of paper and some tape and taped off that handle really, really well. And then I took it outside and guess what we did? Well, first we sanded off a little bit. We sanded off that image a little bit and wiped that down. But then I pulled out that white spray paint again and spray painted a couple of, we had like 2 or 3 good coats and let them dry in between. Once it was fully dry, I went back in with a sander and distressed the edges, and it looked really, really good. Now, I thought about adding like a vinyl decal to make it really fall themed, that's something like grateful, thankful, blessed, and put that on there. But I really could see myself using this any time of year, fall or not. Fall, you do have a lot of gatherings. Going into Christmas, you have a lot of gatherings, and I thought this would be a really cute tote to put the silverware in, and I wanted to just keep it neutral, so that's all I did with it. And I love it. And so I think that it's gonna be a really cute way to hold all of the silverware for all of those gatherings. Now that we can gather more, I really, really look forward to that. So I hope you enjoyed this one.
'Cause you glue the pieces back together.
For our next thrift flip, I found this wreath. It was a fall wreath and it was looking a little tired, you know. It had seen better days, but I could see through it that it had some potential. Then I also found an oval shaped art piece and I was like, maybe this could work. So the first thing we're gonna do is totally disassemble this art piece, and I had to like unscrew the screws, which I hung on to, and I'm gonna use in just a second the screws. So you even keep the little things that you might not think you need, they're handy. And then once I got that all disassembled and just had the frame, which by the way was just kind of a cheap plastic, it was nothing super fancy. Then I took some Dollar Tree pearl bead strips or whatever they're called, and I ran a bead around the inside rim, and I thought that this would just give it a little bit more dimension and interest. Then I went outside and spray painted it in a flat white spray paint. Now you're gonna see that I use a lot of flat white spray paint in this episode, but it all kind of works out and it all looks different, I promise. So then I took it back into my studio and I took some silver rub and buff and did like a light dusting on it to give it some antiquing and aged, kind of like a pressed tin look that you would see, but it worked out really good. Once we had that ready to go, we are gonna take the other wreath and pull off all of the things. It was not worth redoing that. I mean, I could have redone that, but I had a better idea. So I plucked off all the gourds, all the pumpkins, all of the greenery, and I set it aside. The only thing that I didn't keep were the little raffia things. I wasn't a fan, so those went into the trash, but I did hang on to the wreath form and set that aside. Maybe I'll use it in a future project. Waste not, want not, except for the raffia, it had to go. Just kidding. Then I also bought an additional bunch of flowers at Walmart that were kind of in a similar tone and some acorns, and I had a few odds and ends on hand as well. And then I started to assemble a wreath out of this oval frame, and I just did it kind of offset on the bottom left hand side, and I just started gluing everything on really, really good. Now, I will tell you, if you live in a hot, humid climate and you're wanting to replicate this look and it's gonna go outside, you may want to use something other than hot glue because I've learned from experience that if it gets really hot and humid outside, maybe those things won't stay on. So I would recommend using something like an E6000 or something that's gonna be a little bit more industrial. But this is just gonna go inside, so I just used some Gorilla Hot Glue, which is really strong as long as it's not getting super hot. But anyways, and I just assembled it, and there's no rhyme or reason. You just kind of spread things out and make it look good. And then at the very end, I took a little bit of ribbon that was kind of like this really natural with a little lace edging on it, and I just twist tied a couple of little things of that and tucked them into the arrangement too, just to kind of soften up the look. And that's it. And then we gave this sad wreath a new life in a little different way. And it looks amazing. And you have a wreath using a frame, which I thought was kind of fun, and I hope you enjoyed that too. I did. One of the sections that I always hit when I go thrifting is wood items, because there's just a lot you can do with them, and a lot of times you can have interesting things, interesting textures and dimensions. And I actually found several wood pieces, and unfortunately, just because I found so much stuff, I kind of went nuts on this shopping trip. I'm not going to be using all of the pieces in this episode, but maybe coming up in future episodes I will. But I found this one tray, and it was very inexpensive. I think it was like $2.99, and I thought it was cool as is, and I'm like, what can I even do to this? Well, what do I always do to things like a tray? So the only thing I really did is cleaned it up a little bit, and then I took some handles that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, 50% off of course, so that they were originally at $3.99, so $2 a piece, and then I screwed them onto either handle. Now, you could have just left it alone, maybe you would have done that, but I like handles on it, and I thought it added a little bit of interest. And then I took the screws from that art piece, if you remember, and used them to attach the handles. They were the perfect size and everything. And then I just took some black paint and painted over the top of the heads of the screws, so it all blended together, and that's it. And then you have this really cool rustic fall serving tray, or a serving tray you can use literally any time of year, fall or not. This is a fantastic tray for any given time of the year, and I just love it. I think it turned out really, really cute. The little extra, like I said, sometimes it's just little tweaks that really make a difference, and who knows, maybe you would have just left it alone. I like it. I think it looks good. Did you know that over 70% of my audience that watch me on a regular basis are not subscribed? Well, I am just asking if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button. I've got like a lot of really cool things coming up in Q4. I'm not exaggerating, there's some huge stuff coming, and I don't want you to miss out. So if you haven't done that, hit the subscribe button, become part of the DIY Niner family.
Agents of the other, beyond
Next up, I found this kind of like yellowy orange pumpkin, and I also found a couple of large bunches of sunflowers, and I'm like, maybe a pumpkin arrangement is in order. So the first thing I did is what? I spray painted that yellowy orange pumpkin into a flat white spray paint. And honestly, I think it works better. I think it makes it a little bit elevated, and I like it. And once that was dry, I took it in and we put in some floral foam and made sure it was nice and snug. And then I shoved in our bunches of daisies. The first one I just put in the whole bunch, and then the second one I kind of clipped apart apart and made it work. And then I had some other things already on hand. And just by the way, if I don't buy the florals at a thrift store, I really love hitting up end of season sales on silk items, because then they might be 70–80% off, which makes them a really good deal. And then I just tuck them away for later. And that's what I did with these blueberry looking items. And then I also got those little they look like apple, like little mini apple berry type things from the Dollar Tree. And I just put together this arrangement with stuff that I had on hand, plus the sunflowers. And I was really pleasantly surprised. I think that this looks really cute. It's gonna make a great arrangement for the fall get-togethers, a great centerpiece. I love it. I think it looks so good. And you know, it was far cry from just random things at a thrift store, and it was very inexpensive. I think all in all, I'm into it $10 to $12, and I know that you would be paying a ton more if you just went in and bought that somewhere. So give floral arranging a try. It's not really that difficult. Just practice makes perfect. I've just been doing floral arrangements for many, many years. Maybe you didn't know this about me, but I actually worked in a floral shop for all of my college years and have done florals ever since. Not that I'm like the floral arranging expert or anything, but you just get a little bit better over time, and then you can put random things together and it works. So I hope you enjoyed that. On my thrifting adventures, I came across a couple of ceramic pumpkins and gourds, and there was nothing really wrong with them. I just didn't particularly love the finish of it, and I knew that it would be a very easy fix for me with my trusty white spray paint, that flat white spray paint. And that's just what I did. Is I took these couple of ceramic gourds and pumpkins outside, spray painted them in a couple of coats of this white flat spray paint, let it dry. Then I came back into my studio and took some gold rub and buff, and I believe this was an antique gold, and I rubbed it on the stem. And then to get into the little nooks and crannies and little tight areas, I took a little tiny paintbrush and got into those little tricky areas. And then of course you let it sit for a second. Once it is dry, which happens pretty quickly, go back in and buff it out. And that was it for this, like a 5-minute project, like total active time. Obviously there's some drying time, but it took no time at all. And I really love this fresh new look on the gourd. I think it looks super cute, super chic, and I love it. And I hope you do too. Okay, so when I first came across this candy corn tray, I was like, oh, this must be the year of the candy corn. I've done a lot of candy corn projects and hacks and things like that, and it just spoke to me. I don't know what it is about this year, but candy corn is the theme, I guess. But I saw it and it was 99 cents, and I liked it as is. I thought it was cute, but I thought, well, what could we do to this to elevate it? And I had an image that I used in a DIY back a couple of years for Halloween, and I decided to reuse it. Repetition is good. I cut out a decal that said trick or treat, and I did it in permanent vinyl because honestly, you can use permanent vinyl on a vehicle, run it through the car wash, through the elements, and I figured that would have held up really great on a tray that I could use for Halloween time. And I just, weeded the vinyl, added the transfer tape, peeled it back, put it right on the center of the tray, and it went from a really cute tray to an even cuter tray, in my opinion. I really think this is super cute. I'm really excited to serve treats on it. My husband's a bishop at our church, and we are regularly entertaining youth, and I thought this would be really cute to put treats out for the youth at youth activities, and I just I loved it. I think it's so cute, and it's going to be really fun. It goes really cute with my little cat. And I just love it, and I think it's going to be fun this fall season.
I feel so free.
So when you're thrifting, sometimes you need to just kind of look at things in a whole new light. Well, I saw these vintage tennis rackets, and I'm like, well, they're kind of orangey and they're round and they've got a cool texture. maybe we could turn this into a simple pumpkin. Here we go again with the saw. I sawed off the handle and left just a little bit as a stem, and I was like, immediately I saw a pumpkin. Now I thought about spray painting it, but I actually already thought that it was orange enough and it had that little bit of orange on the stem, and I was like, you know what, let's keep this super easy peasy and not overcomplicate it, because this looks good as is. If it was like a crazy other color, then maybe I would paint it orange or whatever, and maybe you would have painted it orange anyways, and that would be totally fine. Then again, with those leaf cast-offs, you got to keep those. They come in handy. And I just had 3 of them, and I clipped them and glued them down. And then I took some of this, I don't know, it's like a twine that's wired that you can get from Dollar Tree. And I wrapped that around the top of the stem and twisted it, and then I made little curlicues with the twine to mimic kind of like a vine look. And I also added a couple of spots of hot glue to just kind of hold it into place. And then I took one little tiny sunflower and glued that to kind of hide some of the ugly. And here you have kind of a really cute, kitschy pumpkin that was from a tennis racket. And that could be really fun if you're really into tennis, but even if you're not, like a vintage tennis racket pumpkin, I just think it's fun. I think it's cute, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better.
For this next piece, you could have taken this a lot of different directions, but I found just some random sign in a thrift store for $2.99, and it was pretty good sized, about 12 by 12, and it was wood and substantial. And I'm like, what can we do that's a little out of the box for this? What I decided to do is spray paint the entire thing. It took 3 coats because it was kind of a dark color. So I did 3 good coats of flat white spray paint. Then to kind of zhuzh it up a little bit, I added a gold border with some rub and buff, and that dries pretty instantaneously. And rub and buff, okay? So you rub it on, let it dry a little bit longer, you go back in and buff it out, and it has this really pretty gold sheen. I love rub and buff. Then I took some gold foil washi tape and I marked out a grid for a tic-tac-toe game, and that's what we're gonna be making. And then I took our washi tape and put it down as our game board. And then for our game pieces, we're just gonna take 2 different kinds of small pumpkins. I got some of them at the Dollar Tree, some of them at Hobby Lobby, and we're gonna use them in different colors as the X's and O's, and you have a fall-themed tic-tac-toe game that I thought would be really fun when you're having all of your fall get-togethers from Halloween to Thanksgiving. Fun game for grown-ups or kids alike, and I just thought that that would be really fun, and it's kind of cute. And it was all thrifted items except for the pumpkins, but those were pretty affordable, so hopefully you'll forgive me for that. Well, I hope you enjoyed coming along thrifting with me. I hope you enjoyed all of the thrift flips, and I hope you enjoyed all of my fun thrifted outfits from thredUP. I just love thredUP, and if you are interested in checking out thredUP as well, don't forget to use the coupon code. I put it down in the description box, but the coupon code Natalie will get you up to 30% off your first order. I think you should go check them out because it is so much fun. I love it, and I hope you do too. But if you enjoyed this episode, here's another one that I think you'll like as well. And if you haven't done so already, consider hitting that subscribe button right here. It's super easy to do, and I would love it if you joined the DIY Niner family. And to all of my DIY Niners, I just want to remind you once again that you are more powerful than you know. We'll see you next time. Bye.